If you lived in this area in the 1930s, after the sun went down, you would have experienced a darkness so complete that today it might frighten you. Except for the soft glow from a lantern carried by a farmer tending his chores, or a kerosene lamp sitting on the kitchen table, there was no light. The day began and ended with the rising and setting of the sun. Every chore required backbreaking labor. There was no indoor plumbing. Every farm operation, from milking the cows to putting loose hay in the barn loft, had to be done by hand.
Life was hard for the people in this area.
No heat in the house, of course, except for a fireplace.
We had a pump that you had to pump by hand, pump all the water by hand, which was quite a chore because our pumps were 129 feet deep. It took a lot of energy to get the water up. And we washed by hand. My mother had a pot that she boiled water in, and we put the clothes in it.
And she'd have a rub board and, rub the clothes up and down on that rub board to get the clothes clean.
But all of this was about to change. In 1935, President Franklin Roosevelt created the Rural Electrification Administration, or the REA, which offered federal funding for electrification of rural communities. The REA set in motion a series of events that forever changed rural America. The formation of cooperatives in other parts of the country stimulated the interest of local leaders, such as Clarence Walker, E.H. Lundy, J.L. Robbins, and county agent J.G. Hudson. In 1937, the first meeting was held to organize Escambia River Electric Cooperative at the Oak Grove Community House. By lamplight, these prominent community pioneers laid out the blueprints for the formation and operation of EREC. On March 10, 1939, the Escambia River Electric Cooperative was born, when the incorporators met at the American National Bank building in Pensacola, Florida, to pass the bylaws which established the cooperative and made the dream a reality. Clarence Walker and the other charter members of EREC went house to house trying to persuade people to pay the $5 membership fee. These forefathers volunteered their time and money to get the co-op started so rural people could have the same conveniences that city folks had. Walker said that people could visualize lights, but they couldn't even imagine the other ways electricity would change their lives.
One of the first things we got was a motor for our pump, to pump water. And then my mama got a refrigerator and an electric iron, and she was in hog heaven with the electric iron.
Walker's daughter, Wilma Gibson, recalled a man who would go around from house to house with electric appliances on his truck.
He would pull up to your house and just start unloading on your front porch. And them telling him, no, I don't want that, I don't want that. He would say, oh, I'm just going to leave it here for a week or two. We don't have anywhere in the store to keep it. So I'm going to leave it here at your house and you just use it. I don't want that, old baker, I don't want that, don't bring it in here. He'd say, oh, you don't know if you want it or not. And he'd bring it on in, and they would let him leave it. And then, as I said, there was very few of them he had to take back.
Walker said originally the location for the EREC office was close to the railroad tracks in Century, Florida. But had the building been located there, it wouldn't have been served by EREC, but rather by the investor-owned utility, already serving Century. In order for the co-op office to receive power from its own electric lines, the charter members located their headquarters in Jay, the next largest populated area. They decided to name the cooperative Escambia River, so that Escambia would be in the name and that both counties would have representation in the co-op. The co-op's first month of operation brought in 88 members. Building the power system was not easy. It took determination, cooperation, and a lot of grit.
At that time, the REA bought their power from Gulf Power, and they had to build a line coming across the river and up that hill. And my husband, J.D. Bray, said they used an oxen to pull those wires up that hill. And the people that got the power was thrilled. These were little heroes who came out there and put the lines in. I can't compare that to anything that I've lived through, though. I know we were thrilled with the space, watched it and all that, but this was something you knew you were getting a benefit out of.
Since that time, the cooperative has grown to serve approximately 10,000 members in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties, with over 1,800 miles of energized line. Many of the dirt roads and rural countrysides of the past have now been replaced by busy highways and active communities. Most of the area's residents don't even remember a time before electricity. Today, sophisticated technology, state-of-the-art equipment, and highly trained employees allow the cooperative to be a leader in member service, reliability, and innovation for the community.
We are embracing technology at just a never-ending rate. We're looking at SCADA systems. We're putting in systems now so that we'll know when your electricity is out before you even get a chance to call us. We'll know the voltage on your house if it reports that there is something that's out of tolerance. We'll know that ahead of time. We can read your meter without bothering you or your property, without going out there. We have all these things that we can do now. We can control our demand peaks. That will save the cooperative money. When it saves the cooperative money, it saves everyone money because, as you know, we're a not-for-profit and our rates are built specially and entirely to cover our costs.
In addition to providing safe, reliable, and affordable power, EREC is also committed to building a stronger community. Our spirit of community is what formed the cooperative 75 years ago, and it's what will dictate our success in the future.
If we have a dinner, I think the whole co-op comes and buys a dinner for us for fundraising, because it's for kids. Whether it's to buy football equipment, whether it's whatever, everybody comes and eats, and I appreciate it. And that's huge. That's more than just running that power line. That's supporting your community.
EREC strives to promote economic development in the local area through participation in community organizations, as well as helping to acquire funding for economic development projects. EREC contributes to the schools we serve in the areas of technology, educational support and enrichment, and value-added services. Each year, Escambia River sponsors 2 high school juniors for the Washington Rural Electric Youth Tour and offers scholarships to high school seniors. We conduct safety demonstrations, participate in career days, and lend a hand in other ways to help improve the education of our children. Escambia River is truly committed to being an active partner in education, in support of our educational system.
When we have a light that goes out in the stadium, we buy the bulbs, EREC comes over and puts them in. Whereas in Pensacola, $1,000 to get a serviceman out. So, those kind of things are huge when you come to, not just for saving the money, but just the partner in education, because it shows that you're not just about monetary, you're there to serve your community. And that just speaks volumes. Volumes. How many businesses could you find? A few, but not many. That would go that far.
Today, the cooperative has reached our 75th anniversary, and availability of reliable electricity is still as critical to community development as it was in 1939. We continue to have challenges that require us to be like those rural electric pioneers who rallied behind their electric cooperatives when called to do so. Cooperatives have come together to stand our ground before Congress, the Environmental Protection Agency, and anyone else who threatens the price you pay for electricity through grassroots programs such as Action.coop. We're committed to protecting the member at the end of the line. Today, we should ask ourselves, do we have the strength and courage to do what those pioneers did in 1939? Could any of us here today turn darkness into light by wiring the countryside, even in the face of cynics who said the job couldn't be done? For those of you who remember what it was like to live without electricity, please share your story with your children and grandchildren. Don't let this great American success story be forgotten. Though times and technology change throughout the years, EREC's commitment to you, its member owners, will never change. Our mission today as it was 75 years ago, is to bring you safe, reliable, and affordable electricity, and to positively impact this community by making a difference in people's lives for the better.